She was only 18, and she was stealing again. Her fingers trembled as they slipped into the old man's coat pocket while he sat quietly on a park bench feeding pigeons, his wrinkled face calm under the wide brim of a beige hat. It was supposed to be just another easy pick. Her name was Leela, and this was the only life she knew until the wallet she stole that afternoon didn't just change her day. It changed everything. Can you imagine what happens when a girl running from her past runs straight into a man who had every reason to give up on life but chose kindness instead? That day, the sun filtered through the thinning trees of Maple Ridge Park. It was autumn, and the leaves rustled like soft whispers beneath the shoes of the few people strolling by. Leela's hoodie was stained and 2 sizes too big. She looked like a shadow among the vibrant colors of the season. Her eyes, dark and sharp, flicked toward the man on the bench. He looked like someone who'd fallen out of time, quiet, alone, dressed in a corduroy coat and feeding birds with pieces of old bread wrapped in tissue. She was fast. She always had been. The wallet slipped out without resistance. No ID. Just cash, a lot of it. And a small photo tucked into the billfold. A young woman in a yellow sundress holding hands with a little boy, both of them smiling. Leela paused. Something about that photo made her heart slow down. She turned to leave, but a voice behind her stopped her mid-step. "You forgot something," he said gently. Leela froze. She spun around, expecting anger or a threat. But the old man just held up a glove she hadn't realized she dropped. His hand was steady. His eyes, pale blue, held no malice, just a calm understanding. She snatched a glove, muttered something, and walked away fast. But that wasn't the end. Not by a long shot. The next morning, she came back to the park, not sure why. Maybe guilt. Maybe curiosity. He was there again. Same bench. Same birds. Same kindness. "Hungry?" he asked without looking at her. In his hand was a paper bag. She almost ran, but her stomach growled before she could. She sat down on the far edge of the bench, arms crossed. He passed her the bag, a sandwich and a note inside. The note read, "You don't have to keep stealing to survive." No one had ever offered her food, not without expecting something in return. He didn't ask her name, didn't ask for the wallet back. He just sat and fed the birds, day after day. She came back, and each time, he'd have something for her: a muffin, a scarf, once even a small paperback novel. He'd tell her stories about a daughter he lost to cancer, a son who hadn't spoken to him in years, a wife he loved more than life who'd passed just last winter. "Why are you nice to me?" she asked one day, finally looking him in the eye. "Because someone once saved me too," he said. "When I was lost, weeks passed. She stopped stealing, stopped running. He taught her how to plant flowers in his backyard, showed her how to bake a pie, told her about jazz music and war and how time doesn't heal everything but kindness can help." One rainy afternoon, he fell on the wet kitchen floor. She found him barely conscious. The hospital lights were too white, too loud. They told her he had no family, no emergency contact. They looked at her like she didn't belong there. But she stayed, for days. She held his hand through his fever, cleaned his apartment, watched old movies alone in his living room, and cried at the endings. He pulled through, and when he came home, something had shifted. "I want you to stay," he said one night, voice trembling. "Not because I need a nurse or a helper, but because you're the only person I look forward to seeing now. Would you consider marrying me?" She laughed at first, thought he was joking, but he wasn't. His face was soft, nervous, serious. "Why me?" she whispered. "Because you see me, because you stayed, and because I want to leave everything I have to someone who knows what it means to be forgotten." They got married quietly in his garden. No guests, just a local judge and a neighbor who brought cupcakes. She wore a simple white dress he'd saved from his late wife's things, altered to fit her small frame. He wore the same corduroy coat from the park. People whispered. Some said she was a gold digger. Others called him foolish. But what they didn't see was how she tucked him into bed every night. How he taught her how to read contracts, sign checks, and manage bills. How she stopped hiding and started learning, studying, growing. One afternoon, while going through his papers, she found a letter he'd written but never sent. It was addressed to his estranged son. I found someone who reminds me of the good in this world. She stole from me once, yes, but she gave back for more. She gave me purpose again." Tears blurred her eyes. Months later, he passed peacefully. In his sleep, she found him holding that same photo from his wallet. She buried him beside his wife. Used the money he left her not to run but to build something. A center for lost youth. Named it the Bench. A place where anyone could come, sit, and be seen. She was 19 now. A widow. A thief turned caretaker. A nobody who had been chosen by someone who saw her heart before her history. And as she sat on that same old bench in Maple Ridge Park, handing out sandwiches to hungry teens, she whispered to the wind, "You saved me first. Can you believe that?" A man with nothing left to live for chose kindness over bitterness. And a girl with no reason to trust anyone found a home in the heart of a stranger. That's the power of compassion. That's what kindness can do. If this story moved you even a little, please like, comment, and share it. Tell us in the comments, has someone ever changed your life with kindness? And don't forget to subscribe and watch the next video, because the next story, it might just restore your faith in humanity.